What got you so into these long runs?
I stumbled into it. This might be a little long-winded story. I stumbled into it after I finished all my selection programs and I got assigned to that SEAL team. Things were going like really well. And I learned through selection processes that I learned a lot when things were going really shitty. Like really, really shitty, you'll learn a lot about yourself. So I decided to do like a little kick in the nuts. So I got off of I think it was like an 18-day deployment on a sub on like the 24th of June. And I signed up for my first 50K. That was on the 29th of June. And my 21st birthday was on the 28th of June. So I essentially signed up for this race, like started the race shit-faced. Like it was a night run. So like I started at 6 p.m., like finished, I think almost at 1 a.m., like hungover, hated everything. But like I learned a lot. And then I kind of just did it every 6 months or so to keep myself like a little kick in the nuts. Like I'll do a 50 mile or 100K, kind of just do it off the couch. Like I really like hammer myself. And after that, I just met a lot of friends and it kind of just became a thing that I did. When you're running up a mountain at like mile 80, that's a lot harder than making 150 cold calls, or it's a lot harder than doing the 36-hour work session because you need to get some business system set up or you need to learn something. That's like it. A lot of voluntary hardship makes involuntary hardship a lot easier. So like any sort of deaths or any sort of troubles that you have in life become easier. And then also like it makes all the required hardship, like your business or your job, also a lot easier. So I just voluntarily do.
So that line that you just gave, voluntary hardships make involuntary hardships easier. I heard you say that, and that connected with me, and I even wrote it down here. Such a true statement. Like building a callus in the brain to be able to go through difficult times. It's such a valuable skill that I feel like a lot of people either don't even think about or underestimate building that up, and like the value that you can gain, because it applies to everything you do in your life, you know? So no matter what you're trying to accomplish, it'll help you in like basically everything. So that's so true. And it's funny, I feel like Joe Rogan says it all the time, and it's why he does those ice baths. No ice baths for you? I've never done one.
I had one in Virginia. I sold it before I went to Florida. We have one in the backyard. It has a leak in it, so I've been using it as an excuse to not go in it. Like I should. I've just been soft.
Even though that thing seems, I don't know. That's
It's pretty horrific.
Yeah, I've never done it, but I could imagine.
You just do it. There's a creek somewhere out here. Go to the creek, dude.
The polar plunge. My dad always does that every year.
Horrible.
So I like running too. I actually found out later in life that I actually really enjoy running, like even after college probably. I mean, I played sports my whole life, so that was kind of exercise I got. And then I got into lifting throughout college. But I don't know, for some reason I just enjoy running so much more because you can get into this kind of like Zen type of like just like nonstop. You got one objective. Your brain can just like unfocus on everything else in your life.
Yep.
Which I feel like lifting you don't really get because it's like start and stop, start and stop. Running, it's just like one thing. But I've never, ever, ever even attempted to run as far as you have.
Well, I mean, like I mean, regardless if you're running far or you're running short, that's why like also you're talking about like having to focus essentially on like that specific task. There's no other tasks around you that you need to focus on when you're running. That's why I like trail running a little bit more than road running. Like you don't fucking focus, you're just spraining your ankle and just like fuck yourself up. So like that concept you're talking about, just like I have to dial in.
I also feel like when I run and I'm not trying to like push myself, I'm just like leisurely like I feel like I can think like more clearly, and I have the best kind of breakthroughs in thought while running. Have you experienced that at all, or?
Yeah, especially when you do like no headphones. There's some sort of technical medical thing with it, but essentially like you're getting more blood flow to your brain.
Andrew Huberman.
Yeah. I do need a Huberman on here, but essentially I think it's like the blood flow to the brain, and the fact that like you're not focused on anything else. Yeah, I can go on a tangent with that, but.
So what's your favorite run story you have, or event?
Favorite run story? Oh God.
You said you got trapped somewhere that you already brought up. Thing.
Oh, in the Dolomites? Is that what we're talking about on the side of it?
Yeah.
So essentially there's this this trail called Alta Via 2 in the Dolomites. It's like 94 miles and it's 42,000 feet up and 45,000 feet down. So essentially it's like straight up, straight down pretty much the whole time. And I was going to Europe and I was like, oh, this would be like a cool thing to try to get the record for. Like I'm in pretty decent shape. Like I just finished a 200 miler like a month and a half before. And so I bought like $50 worth of gear on Amazon for it, like not prepared in the slightest. And it was the end of the season. Like most of these huts that they call refugios, they're on the top of the mountains where you can get refuels and stuff. Like we're all starting to close. Like it was the last couple days of the season. Turns out it gets really cold when you get up to like 10,000 feet. That was the highest I'd been at that point in my life. So there was essentially this, it was about 1,500 feet in a half mile. And if you've never done that before, it's essentially like a straight up cliff. And it had snowed, and that during the day it was like 60 degrees, but at night it would get down to about 20. So it melted and like got a lot of water running down it during the day. And then now it was like 2 a.m. So it just froze into ice. And I only had crampons, so those ice spikes that you put on your shoes. Turns out you need like a pickaxe for that steep. So I went up once without the crampons and got about like 15 feet up and then slid down. It's, okay, I'll go put on the ice spikes. Never used them before. Like just bought them on Amazon. And then I got up like 200, 250 feet up, like getting pretty far into this climb, and then just slid all the way down.
Oh my God.
And to put in perspective, it's like you're like coming through a mountain. There's like a valley here, and you're going up this cliff, and there's like a drop off. It's like 500 feet, 1,000 feet on each side. And like the only reason why I stopped, there was a boulder at the bottom. I just slammed into this boulder. Dude, if their boulder wasn't, like, I would have just slid off.
That's insane.
It would have sucked. And like no one would have figured out to call for anyone for like 5 hours. Because I told them, I was like, if I don't move for 5 hours, I call someone. Because I had a tracker that people could see. Yeah, and then I just got stuck there, and then I couldn't move because I was on the side of this ice shelf, and I started getting hypothermia. I also like right before I started that section, I had no water for like 6 hours, and I eventually found this little stream, fell into the stream, so I'm also soaked. It was
Oh my
horrible.
God.
I hated it. I remember I sat there, I was like, this is stupid.
And yet you
dude.
still do the long runs today.
Yeah.
Didn't stop you.
I was just like, this is a dumb way to die. And I eventually like hobbled out towards mooring, and this like European's like, oh yeah, need pickaxe. I'm like, yeah, dude, I figured it out.
So there's not like a lot of people running alongside you.
On that, so no. So there's like races where you have like people that like sign up, and there's like this thing called FKT, so fastest known time, where like a specific trail that could be popular, people just post their times on like what they got with their proof of like I think their run.
Map my run.
Essentially like map my run, so you export it into like a TRX file or something like that, and it has like all of your splits on it. But yeah, so it was just me, and it was fucking 3 a.m. No one's there, and it's the off season. Yeah, it was stupid.
How much training are you doing in between these long runs that you do? Like to be able to do a 200-mile run, like do you have to run 10 miles a day?
It kind of varies. Depends on how prepared you want to be. I tried running this race called Moab 240 with no training. I got like 80 miles in. So it depends on like how far the race is. But if like a 200, I think you can get away with like 50 miles a week. You're gonna hate life.
So do you think that's because like you know the pain of it, so you're able to mentally push through? Like if someone tries that their first time, they're not gonna.
They're most likely not gonna be able to do it unless they have very high mental fortitude. But like physically, you should be able to make it. Also with that training, you'll learn how to like eat and how to hydrate. My first 200, I rolled up with no training. I had not tried any food. I had no electrolytes. I wore no skin cover for a hot race. Like I was wearing a black t-shirt in like a hot, it was stupid. But yeah, I have 50 miles a week. Usually I'm doing about 80 miles a week, about 20,000 feet of gain and loss. And then, about 4 lifts, about 5 to 6 hours of lifting a week. So total volume, I don't know, like 24 to 30 hours a week for like peak training. Usually normal about 12 to 18 hours a week.
Do you have any good, if people are watching this and they like want to learn more about running, they're getting into it, like stuff that you watch on social media or books or anything that you found useful in that realm?
Depends if you want to go the free or the paid route. Free route, you can just follow people on Instagram at like just look up trail runners.
Any good ones pop to your mind?
Besides you, I'm a terrible person to learn from.
Who makes good posts?
David Roche. David Roche and Killian Jornet. You'll probably learn a lot from them. Don't act like you're going to run as fast as them. I don't know if you know who those people are.
No.
They're absolutely fucking psychopaths. Yeah, I'm trying to run Leadville this year. David ran Leadville in 14 hours. I hope to run Leadville in 24 hours. So like those people are really fast. But also just trial and error. I would suggest for anything, get a coach. Like just suck it up, get a coach, pay the price for like the first month or two, get as much information as you can out of it. And then you don't have to have the coach anymore. But like Tom Brady has a coach. Everyone who's high level has a coach. And there's a reason why.
Yeah.
That like just cuts out all of the learning curves. Like you could just immediately get all the information. That's what I would suggest. Get a coach.